Seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, attention. May I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fabio Marques from International Excellence Society, and this is Fabulous with Fabio. Yes, my guest today is a fabulous speaker, consultant, author, a fabulous human being. We're going to talk about how you can solve problems to a win-win-win outcome. It's about customer service. It's about productivity. It's about problem solving. It's about time management. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irma Parone. Welcome, Irma. How are you?
I am great, Fabio, and it's awesome to be here with you.
Good to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here and share your expertise, share your passion and your ideas with our audience. All right?
It's my pleasure.
And ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is raw as life is. There's no editing, no post-production. Our interviews are always live and there's no cuts. So I only invite guests that I know can handle this kind of situation. Only authentic, true experts are here to talk to you and share their wisdom with you and also their inspiration. The purpose of this program, Fabulous with Fabio, is to help us see that we all can be fabulous if we have the passion and the inspiration to make a difference. So that's why Irma is here, ladies and gentlemen, because she has been a true example of being fabulous in what she does. So Irma, let's go straight to your story. Please share with us what are your beliefs, your passion, your values, so people get to know you better as a person.
You know, I was so fortunate to be raised by wonderful people. My parents are in heaven now, but they were amazing. And it was just simple. It was about being kind, being giving. They didn't have much, but whatever they had was yours. And I think if you do the right thing and you're kind and you work hard and you're passionate about everything you do, you will absolutely end up fabulous, like you.
Oh, come on. Thank you so much. You're very generous. So tell me a little bit, what kind of values did your parents, teach you when you were growing up?
Well, it was really not that they taught me, but they through example, just through watching them and seeing how they just took care of everybody that needed them, but also little things. Like, for example, I grew up in a bad town with a lot of riots, and they taught me I'll never forget my dad saying, "Don't ever think that you're better than anybody, and don't let them think they're better than you."
That's great.
And that just like stuck with me. And just to do, we all know what the right thing is, and it's so simple. Just do the right thing. Help other people, take the higher road. Don't let them get under your skin, and do what you can to do whatever you do great. My dad, though, he was a steel worker. My mother was a housewife. They were undereducated, but I don't know. I just can't tell you how lucky I was to have them as parents.
You know, you said something that is very, very important, especially because you talk about customer experience, service excellence, and I started my professional career as a professional speaker also talking about service excellence because this is really the base of everything, right? Put service first, sales will follow, and of course
Right.
your reputation will be built, and you have an easier door into any client. And when you said you're no better than anybody, and nobody is better than you, right? A lot of people think that customer is always right, and that means that we should be feeling like we are less valued than our clients or customers, and that's not true. We need to position ourselves as, okay, I need my clients as much as they need me, right? I
Right.
can add value to them as much as they can add value to my life. So we should really treat each other in the same level of importance. And this is really high importance. So I really like what
That,
you told us.
yeah, that's so true. And if they don't need us, then there's something wrong. Either
Yes,
we're not the right service for them or we're doing something wrong. But if they don't really need us, if they don't love us, if they're not passionate about us, then our service level, our values maybe need revisited.
that's right. So if we cannot really add value to our customers and clients, there's no point serving them, right?
I
So we
have
should,
fired myself from clients.
yeah,
I
sometimes we,
literally, one of my clients, a CEO, asked me to work with a couple of her employees, and one of them just wasn't doing the work. And I said, look, I can't, I don't want to spend your money if he's not going to do the work. It's not going to make me look good. If it's all about money, I lose, you lose.
Mhm.
So I have literally, I've done it a couple times.
This is leading us to another very important point. So it cannot be all about money, right? I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's you have to desire money to make money and desire money to make money." But if it's all about money, we know a lot of people with lots of money and they have miserable lives, right?
Right.
So they're dependent from alcohol or drugs, or whatever, to try to feel that emptiness they feel. So it cannot be always about money. Money is important, of course, in our lives, the way the society is built, of course,
Right.
but we cannot really have money as our only or the only thing that drives us. So what else do you have in your life that drive you?
I just have this internal passion and I don't know how old I am. Like, I know my numbers might be high, but I'm so driven to continue to learn to be better and better and better. I mean, every year I spend all this money on different trainings and say, I'm not doing it again. I tell myself, no more. I've learned enough. And yet I think I'm addicted. But I mean, I don't know. But I think
Addicted to evolution.
yes, yes, but it's just an energy that I have that I've that I can't stop learning and getting better and bringing higher value. And then you look at yourself, 5 years ago and say, wow, I screwed that up. I should have done that differently. Or, but people do the best. Who was that? Maya Angelou, that say people do the best with what they know, and when they know more, they do better.
Yeah.
That, just keep learning, keep knowing more and doing better.
Well, I would say if you have to be addicted to something, be addicted to learning. So that's a good addiction you
Yeah,
have,
I
right?
know, but I need to stop at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, one thing that I have learned, and I have the same quality. I was going to say problem is not a problem. I have the same quality. I love to learn, right?
Yeah.
So even when I don't have a very clear objective, why am I learning this? I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And this is a quality that everyone that is pursuing excellence has. So if you are pursuing excellence, you understand that excellence is not a destination, it's a habit,
Right.
right?
It's a journey. Right.
So excellence comes from excel. So it's not perfection, but it's always getting better and better every day so you can better serve society.
Correct.
So evolution is the mother of excellence. So if you are addicted to evolution, you are actually demonstrating that you're humble and you're wise enough to know that we should continue learning so we can keep growing. But of course, we have to be also applying what we learn in a pace that we can handle, right? So learn and apply, learn and apply, learn and apply, so we can collect the results of the implementation of our learnings. Is that
Right.
right?
Right. I agree. And so thank you for making me not feel stupid for continually investing in learning.
Actually, this is the source of your wisdom to be humble enough to stay an eternal student, right, of life. And this is, I believe, I don't know if I told you this, but in 1982, May of 1982 was my first job. I was 11 years old. And I started reading about successful people and their biographies, right? So I had this job where after school, I went to assist realtors by being in empty homes, waiting for them to bring the customers. So I didn't have much to do. And I started reading books about successful people, like Thomas Edison's story, Albert Einstein's story, Chrysler, Honda, and so on. And it took me several years to, let's say, come up with the common ground, the 5 common ground that all successful people have. And one of them is learning. They're always learning. They feel humble enough, no matter the level of their success, they continue humble enough to keep learning. So we are on the right track here, right?
All right.
We are exercising one of the key elements of very successful people. So don't ever feel stupid about learning. It's the process.
My friends will say, you're taking another course or another class. I'm going to tell them what you said. In fact, they're going to have to watch this.
Okay, yeah, let's share this. Let's share this. And of course, we can also learn from implementation, right? When we are implementing our learnings, there's another phase of learning, which is observing the results, adjusting, tweaking, implementing again, trying once more. And then this is a process of continuous learning that it doesn't require any new course or any new book. It's just implementing what you have learned and adjusting until you get the results you want.
That's what I learned in speaking. You could learn everything, but if you don't get out there on that stage, that's a whole new process to go through, a whole new process.
Amazing. Listen, one other aspect of your personality, I would like to explore. Let's say if you were forced to select only 3 qualities you have, only 3, and that would define who you are to the entire planet, which would be those 3 qualities?
I think I'm a connector. I love to meet and greet and connect people.
Great.
That's why I'm fun at parties. Being fun is another one. So people tell me all the time, you have to come to my party, because they know I'll pull people together and have a good time. Although I'm the first one to leave, but I have a lot of fun while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think tenacity, if I want to do something, I really want to do it, I will work and work and work and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Did I give you 3?
You gave me 2, if I'm not mistaken.
2. And how about
you're a connector and tenacity?
A connector, tenacity, and just fun, a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's a quality that people just don't, people have to smile and be giving and loving and enjoy their time with people.
And I believe those 3 qualities really define core elements of your success as a speaker and as a consultant, right? And before that, as an executive, because I was, of course, aware of your story, and you have amazing examples of turnaround, like organizations that were struggling with customer service, and then with your leadership, they really achieved amazing results. And also, when you're working as a consultant, as a speaker, you bring this light atmosphere, right? At the same time, that is full of rich content, but you put people at ease, so people feel not pressured, but inspired to apply what you are teaching them. So that's
the goal. Thank you. I mean, if you see that in me, you've just made my day, that's for sure. But
no, a lot of people see that in you, I'm sure, because I believe that everybody that really has the spirit of serving as the foundation for the work, and that's your case and my case, everybody that has the spirit of serving as the foundation have that, because we understand that everything we do is to serve and add value.
Right.
And if we're not serving, we're not satisfied with ourselves. If our clients are not winning, we are not satisfied with ourselves. We're always aiming to get this win-win-win, right? Our clients win, our company win, we win, so everybody wins. And that's possible. This is the abundance mindset. And I really love that.
Well, that, that's the fun part too. The fun part, especially when I work with customers, is brainstorming. How can we get better? What are the things that we could do to help us? We all have competitors. There's competitors everywhere. And if we're just providing service, so is everybody else. Some better than others, but so what are we doing to really stand out? Where are the experiences? And they can be hard, but I love doing brainstorming sessions where I keep pushing. Here's a scenario, make it better. Somebody will make it better. I'll say, okay, make it better than that. I have fun. I like to have fun when I work.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's amazing. Listen, we're going to talk about your books in a second because you have some amazing books available to executives and to employees. Let's talk about them a little later.
Okay.
Now, I would like you to share with me your vision, right? What would you like to accomplish in your life as a speaker, as a consultant? What kind of difference you would like to make in this world?
So my dream, my passion is to change. It kind of ties into my book, but it's to change the way employers and employees work together and solve problems together so that they can win in a big way, so that they look at each other's issues, so that they can feel, how is the customer impacted by this problem? How are the employees impacted? How's our company impacted? And find solutions that really bring out the best way to move forward, but to do it together. Because I think that, we all look at problems as what's in it for me. I mean, when we have a problem, if I have a problem, I'm going to say, how can I fix this? And I'm looking at the impact for myself. But if I can find a way, because the thing is, it's not just about us. If we don't realize that our decisions also have a bigger impact on our customers, on our employees, on our spouses, on our children, if we don't see that that all ties together, then we really can't move forward. It'll be a temporary fix. So my passion is to eventually have a new generation of people that start work with this mindset, so that they're looking at the big picture, they're working together, they're helping each other, and then they're in the future leading these companies. I don't know. Sound crazy, maybe?
No, it sounds like my dream. Anyway.
Oh, well, we'll do it together. Let's do it together.
Let's do it together then.
Yeah.
Listen, let's help our audience to really understand the importance of this, right? So the goal is to help employers and employees come up with solutions that generate win-win-win outcomes, right? What if they are not able to do that? What are the main problems organizations face right now, or people face right now, by not having this capacity of working out solutions that generates win-win-win outcomes?
Well, let me give you a couple little examples. So I had a potential client that I did not take on, but he was already in a nosedive with his business. He had a small restaurant and he had great food, but there were some things going wrong. And he had to do something because he would be in bankruptcy soon. So he said, look, I've already decided I'm going to cut my staff in half. He didn't have a staff already. And the rest of them, I'm going to reduce their benefits, or I forget exactly what it was. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, if you lose your employees, what's that going to do to your customers? What's it going to do to your company? How is it now? I didn't take that job because he had already set his mind and he didn't want my help. He wanted me to say, yeah, you're doing the right thing. So he ended up going out of business. And then I've worked with when I was a vice president, I had an employee who was so worried about the customer that she forgot about the company. So she was throwing the company under the bus. She had a problem. It was a real problem. It needed resolved, but she just couldn't see that bigger picture.
I
So
understand.
she hurt the company. The customer was not getting the service and the support from our company because my manager wasn't doing a good job. It just, without looking at the big picture, you can't come up with solutions that work exponentially.
And in order to be able to look at the big picture, people have to be able to talk to each other with empathy
Right.
and have good listening skills, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I would assume that when you work with your clients, you help them develop listening skills and empathy, and of course, a capacity to communicate more clearly what they want, what they see, their perspective, so they have better communication and of course, better teamwork, I would say.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I've gotten calls from companies, a lot of, there's a hard time finding people now. So over the last year, I've gotten quite a few calls. How can I hire better people? But when I dug into the problem, they weren't looking at their own issues. I looked at the data, I talked to the employees, as many as I could, and found they didn't really hire bad people. Well, some of them did, a couple of them did. But in general, it wasn't that. It was that when those employees got in, they didn't wrap their arms around them. They didn't hear them. They didn't see what they needed from their company. So that ties exactly into what you're saying. And then, so they're working on the wrong problem, right? They
Yeah.
were firing recruiters, they were spending all this money on ads, and it was a whole different problem.
This is key. I believe one of the major values we bring to organizations when we work with them as consultants or, right, um, speakers is that we help them see what is the real problem, right? We
Right,
help them save tons of money and time just by helping them look at the right problem.
right,
And in my book, I wrote about the four M's, right? The four markets. So a lot of companies are always looking at the consumer market and competitors market, but they forgot about the employees market, right? The labor market. So, am I attracting? Do I have good systems in place to attract and keep the best talent? Do I have good onboarding systems, right? Do I really embrace my new talent and help them succeed, or I'm just giving orders? So,
right.
as
Exactly.
you're saying, we need to understand what is the real problem. And most of the time, it's how we treat, how we lead, how we communicate with people.
Right. Even explaining what they do. It's so funny. I'm sure you've done this too, but I'll go in and I'll talk to the boss where they're having problems and I'll say, "Tell me exactly what the expectations are of this role." And then separately, I'll go to the employee and say, "Tell me exactly what your boss expects you to do." So often it's totally different. And very often, the employer is not even sure what they want that employee to do. They might know what the end result is, but what
Mhm.
are those key performance indicators? What are the leading and lagging indicators that will
Yeah,
help that person really achieve that goal?
yeah, yeah. You
So,
know, it, this is so true. So just to wrap up your vision, and I agree, and I'm totally aligned with that. You have this vision of helping employers and employees to really communicate better with each other, develop this bigger picture where
right,
they really take into consideration their wins, the employer's wins, and the customers' wins, right?
right,
So, and that's how you communicate with your audience. So let's build this bridge to the communication phase now, because as I told you off the air, we are always uh, taking into consideration five elements because I have studied this for so many years, 41 years now. Five elements that are always present in the lives of true successful people. One is really knowing who you are, your identity, right? not being a copy of somebody else, being your true self. And of course, this is a process of self-discovery, self-development, self-knowledge that takes many years.
Right.
Then they go into the vision phase. So every successful human being has this vision about what they want to accomplish in life in several levels. And then they go into this communication. So they are very good in communicating with themselves inside their heads and with others. And then they go into learning and then into practice. So now I want to know about your inner dialogue. What are the kind of things you tell yourself when you are going through challenges? Because everyone, right, goes through tough times every now and then. Maybe health, financial, whatever, right? Or recognition or whatever, any kind of problems. So what is your inner dialogue? What is the message you keep repeating to yourself in your head when you're going through those challenges?
Well, I think it's different for different things, right? So I went through cancer, and everybody around me was like horrified. My husband's first wife died very young of cancer. So as soon as I had cancer, everybody was, you know, put me in a deathbed, I think. I knew I would be okay. I just knew it. I followed the instructions. I did what the doctor told me. I went through the surgery and the radiation and the chemo and losing my hair. But I never, I could have maybe a couple times thought, gee, when will this be over? Because it was a pretty long progression.
Yeah.
But I never doubted I would be okay. So I'm very positive in that way. I think that when it comes to work, I'm never satisfied. I just keep wanting to get better, and nobody's perfect, but don't ever tell my husband that, because I have him convinced that I am. I just keep wanting, how can I make this better? And if things go wrong, I always look at myself and say, what could I have done better? What could I have? And sometimes that's good because we want to know what did we do well and what could we improve on. But, sometimes in your head, you're making it a little bit too negative. But I am a relatively positive person, and whatever the problem is, I know I'll get through it. Like the reason I started my company was my mother had dementia, and I moved her down here and moved her 3 miles from me, but I was a vice president. So I was traveling all the time. I ran the state of Florida for the company, and she was very confused. Now, I only took 3 weeks off when I had a baby. I don't know how to not work. I just, and it just, I wanted to be with her. And so I just started a business and I fixed that piece of it. I worked when I could. I was working on the creative part. Plus, I needed some money because I called my boss one day and I said, I'll give you whatever notice you need, but I got to go. So 2 months later, I was unemployed. And that was a little scary, right? So I felt a little afraid, but it all worked out. I mean, things just seem to work out. I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it's, I think it's more blessing than luck, but.
Or vibration. People call it vibration. No, the quantum physics experts say this is vibration. Your energy is really transmitting this vibration that will bring similar things to you, right? It can be faith, of course. I believe in God, so it may be faith, blessings, as you said. It also can, I also believe in quantum physics, so it might be vibrations as well.
Could be a little bit of all of it, right?
Or all of it at the same time with no limit, right? So we know very little about everything that we don't see.
Right.
So we should really choose something to believe. And if you believe strongly enough, it will work for you.
Yeah, I think you make yourself. I mean, if you're focused on I'm failing or I'm dying or whatever, I really think you talk yourself into this stuff. So I don't know. My parents were very positive, so I think I just stole that off of them.
That's very good. That's right. So this is a major lesson for everybody listening, and maybe I emphasize this in every interview, but I'm going to emphasize it again. You have the option to choose how you want to communicate with yourself and how you want to communicate with others.
Right.
So if you can choose, why not choosing being positive and constructive, right?
So
Because
true.
of course, everything you say and do has a vibration to it, has a kind of energy to it, and of course, have consequences to it. So if you choose to be positive, constructive, of course, you are generating good vibrations, good energy, and this will come back to you. If you communicating in a negative way, destructive way, of course, you will feel bad first, and then everything around you will feel bad as well. And what are you creating?
You're
You're just
creating
creating.
misery for everybody else.
So nobody's winning. It's a lose, lose, lose situation. So I know that you are all for this win-win-win situation. So of course, I would expect nothing but positive communication from you when you're talking to yourself. And as you expressed, yes, we all go through some negative thoughts from time to time, but we have to be strong enough to know that yes, negative thoughts will come and go. But I choose to keep only the positive thoughts, not because I'm naive, but because it's my choice. It's my choice,
Right.
right? So free will, it's my choice. I choose to be more positive and more constructive than anything else. And
And that
now
works
let's
for
go
me.
to,
It works for me.
yeah, it works for me as well.
Most of
So,
the time, right.
and one good thing about it, and I believe, as I told you before, everyone I believe has gone through tough times every now and then, right?
Everybody.
And according to my experience, even analyzing and studying the lives of very, very, very financially successful people, I learned that every one of them, at least in one moment in their lives, they were very bad financial wise, right? They were struggling financially, and they found a way to resolve that. So, one thing I like about choosing to be constructive and positive with my communication is that no matter what happens to my life in the other areas like financial, health, family, whatever, if I choose to be positive, I always feel stronger to face the situation. I feel
Right.
more confident. Even facing the hardest circumstances, I feel confident enough to keep moving forward and solving my problems without complaining that much, right?
Right. And thinking, sometimes I'll say, so what's the worst thing that can happen? And that kind of, helps me move on because it's whatever the
Yeah.
worst thing is probably isn't all that bad. We're even with cancer. I mean, I never thought about that with cancer though. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too cocky to be um
Maybe it's a good thing to be cocky every now and then. All right. So let's imagine now, I would like to put you in the same scenario that maybe your clients would have you, right? So let's say you are in this big convention, you were hired to deliver this important speech to 1,000 people, okay? In this big convention. And you have everybody mixed. You have leaders, you have individual contributors, you have, all levels of education. So it's a very mixed audience. But you have to give this opening statement about your speech that will really attract the attention of everybody. Will really have a hook for everybody. I know it's a challenge, and you're not, briefed about this, but I like to put my guests on the spot with a challenge. And as you are a professional speaker, I would like to give you this challenge. So you are in this audience, 1,000 people, all kinds of people in the audience, and you want to give them a message. And there's an opening statement, right, that you're going to deliver to them. And
right.
this has the objective of attracting everybody, hooking everybody into your message. How will you communicate this opening statement?
Okay. Here's my
Are you
opening
ready?
statement. Yeah, you just threw that at me. So here's how I open. How many people in this room believe that your success is the result of the decisions that you've made? How many think then you can go into,
That's good. So everybody will be thinking, well, let me see if I agree with that. Maybe yes, or maybe no. So people would be hooked instantly in this self-reflecting mode to analyze if the results they're getting is a result of their decisions, right? This is super good. And of course, you can, from there, you can go anywhere,
Right.
right? You can talk about communication, leadership, you can talk about teamwork, you can talk about um, feedback, you can talk about uh, life's about choices, time management, whatever. It's good.
Right. I usually
Good.
go into, there are people in your industry that are excelling and killing it. And then there are other people in the same town, in the same location, that are failing. There's some employees who are awesome. They're getting promoted and offered for employment. And then there are other people that work for the same company that are getting fired. What are the decisions they're making?
Mm. Not only decisions in the way they behave, but in the way they think, right?
Right,
What do I choose to think?
right.
Great.
So, but if you have any other ideas, I'm open.
Oh, we can discuss that later. That was awesome.
Okay. I love
Anyway,
your idea. I love your
so
idea.
let's go now into one of the other elements of very successful people, which is the lessons we learn, right? Very successful people are always learning from their failures, from their successes, from themselves, from other people. They're always learning, not only from books and courses, but they're always investing, developing themselves and learning. So I would like you to share with us, with my audience, the key 2 or 3 key lessons you have learned from life. They can be from books, from courses, from parents, from teachers, whatever. Share with us 2 or 3 key lessons you have learned.
So I think the first one is for life lessons is to always do everything you can to help everyone you can. And it's not just the big things. People think they know what you need, and sometimes you just have to ask, what is it that you need now? How can I help you now?
Mhm.
And be that person that people want to know, want to be with,
Good.
and
This is very
choose,
good.
have them choose you, right? And
Yeah.
if you get in the habit of doing that, it becomes fun. You want to do it. You love helping other people. You love getting into the little things that you never thought anything about. So that's one. The other one is learn how to solve problems. I don't
Mm.
care what your title is. I don't care what your boss said your responsibilities are. If you're a problem solver, you'll be the highest ranking person in that role. Everybody is here to solve problems. It's either solve them or prevent them. So be a great problem solver. And the third thing is do everything you can to be not just kind at home or out, but everything you can to support the company that you work for, and then help all those people take care of their customers and employees. Do everything you can. And sometimes that means reaching out and
Mm.
asking for help from other places. Don't think that you know it all. People get into this tunnel vision and
Yeah.
think, oh, I've been in this industry for 40 years, so I know it all. No, we don't. So I guess,
Nobody is God, so nobody
right,
knows it all.
right, right.
It's funny because many people that say, I don't believe in God, they think they are God. They say, I know it
Yeah,
all. I know
yeah,
everything.
right,
It's kind of
right,
crazy. Anyway,
right.
great lessons. Thank you for sharing them. Now let's go into action steps because I always like to give my audience some action steps they can take immediately, right? So I want to give you, of course, the chance to share with us something that we can do right now, even if they don't ever hire you or me to do anything. What are the things they could do right now to get closer to this win-win-win outcome that you talk about? And later, after you share 1 or 2 steps with us, then of course I'm going to give them the path to get in contact with you and to have access to your books.
Okay. So it's an 8-step problem solving process. So I'll give you the first two, the first three are the most important, but the first one is make sure you know what problem you're working on,
Mhm.
because a lot of people don't. Like we talked about the employers that thought they were hiring wrong.
Yeah.
The second one is make sure you know what the root cause of that problem was. And this is for home and at work.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a personal story. I was engaged to a guy who was a lot of fun, had a lot of money, airplanes, all this. He drove me crazy. He made me nuts. He was controlling, and he wanted me to quit my job. It's like, what do you want me to do? Stay home and cook? I mean, and I called him a few names along the way, but when I really thought about what the root cause of the problem was, it wasn't him and it wasn't me. He was the wrong person for me.
Mm.
So if I didn't recognize the cause of that, I could have gotten into another relationship and had the same problem.
Yeah.
So those are the first two steps in the model to make sure you're working on the right thing.
That's so cool. So make sure you're working on the true problem, the real problem, and the relevant problem, because we have some small problems that we waste time.
Right.
That doesn't matter. So what is the relevant true problem? And then what is the root cause of the problem? So we're not treating the symptoms, but we are really treating the cause. This is so good. This is so good. All right. So share with us now the names of your books. I know, but I want you to tell them, and where they can find your books. And of course, I'm going to put the links in the description of the video, right?
Okay.
Everybody watching here, the links to Irma's website, LinkedIn, and books will be here underneath the video, so you can click and go directly to the source. So what are the names of the book, Irma?
So the first one is called WinX. It looks like Winx, W-I-N-X, because there's no space. And the subtitle is The Problem-Solving Model to Win Exponentially with Customers, Employees, and Your Bottom Line. And that is the one for business owners and leaders. The one that just came out a couple of weeks ago, the second book, is called WinX for Employees. And that's how to win in the workplace. And you can find them on LinkedIn or on my website.
Are they in Amazon as well?
I'm sorry, on Amazon or my website. I didn't mean, yeah, I don't know where LinkedIn just came out of the sky. Amazon.
LinkedIn is invading our space here.
Yeah, Amazon and my website.
No, that's great, because I really believe in giving tools to everybody involved. So you are giving tools to the leaders, and you're giving tools to the employees.
Right.
So they can work together and find solutions that have win-win outcomes to employees, employers, and customers.
Right. Right.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
You could do my next speech.
I can. We can work together on this.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Each other if we need to.
Yeah.
We are so aligned. I'm so glad talking to you today, because I feel we are so aligned, and we are, let's say, a force, right? For goodness. We are really doing something with our professional careers to improve the quality of the relationships, improve the service companies provide to customers, and of course, improving the experience of everybody involved, right? Actually, my book, you're going to see how aligned we are. Let me share with you. Subtitle of my book. Can you read it?
Practical guide to increase profits consistently while improving everybody's experience. There you go. Oh my gosh.
Really super aligned.
We really do need to do some work together. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a pleasure. Listen, it was a pleasure talking to you. I want to just give you a little more space for you to share this final message. Let's say the closing statement of our interview, so everybody feel inspired and, of course, eager to know more about what they can do to really go into the direction we are pointing them.
So I guess I wasn't ready for that one either, but I guess the final message is when we were born, we were totally dependent on our parents or caregivers. Yeah. They lovingly helped us be independent so we could take care of ourselves. The missing piece is, if we can't be interdependent, if we can't work with others and look at things from different perspectives, we'll never get to the big win. So learn interdependence, learn how to work with even if you hate your boss, find ways to help him or her. Even if your employees drive you crazy, find out how to make them not drive you crazy, help them. pull them together.
Yeah.
And I think, what was your last question? No, did I answer that?
Yeah, that is the last question, and that's really good. Yeah, we have to reflect on that. Hey, people watching, go back, replay this interview more than once, because there are several nuggets here that you should, take into consideration when dealing with your own problems, dealing with serving other people, dealing with your boss, dealing with your employees. We really need to learn a lot about relationships and how we can work together for better outcomes. And if we are able to do just that, if we are able to follow what Irma is telling us here, everybody would have a much better experience in our jobs, facing clients. Everybody would benefit from this. So once again, I want to thank you so much, Irma, for being here. Thank you you guys watching here. Thank you as well. Share this interview with your friends, co-workers, your bosses, your employees. If you think listening to this would help them have a better perspective of life and work, do that. Share, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But let's move the needle. Let's help this message get shared so more people can benefit from the wisdom of Irma Parone. Irma, thank you once again. And you guys watching, remember, everything, all the links will be underneath the video, so you can click and get closer to Irma, get her books, and learn and evolve and win.
Thank you. You are fabulous.
Thank you so much. It was a fabulous interview because of you. Thank you so much. So see you guys next